Well, thanks for hanging in there with us, folks. We had a little bit of a streaming issue. I think everybody's probably streaming across the country right now, so bear with us here as we kind of figure a few things out. Neil, you were just kind of starting to tell us about your plans going forward and kind of expectations as far as meal deliveries for the weeks coming up.
Yeah, and like you were saying, we're already talking about ways can we increase meals. We're talking about the idea of limiting it per car, but we've got a lot of great organizations, both in terms of restaurants who are providing meals and churches and other organizations who are sponsoring it. So coming up this week, First Congregational United Church of Christ is going to be partnering with Jimmy John's to provide another sub meal with chips and a cookie. And in weeks to come, Peace Lutheran, Tomah First United Methodist, Gloria Dei, and St. Mary's will be working with KFC, Culver's, and we're going to be lining up some more restaurants. But we're expecting the needs to increase, and we want to continue to build and be able to care for others and just remind them that they're cared for and significant as times are challenging. And we understand that.
Well, this is certainly unprecedented territory that we're going into. I think there's no roadmap for what we're doing as far as a community and nation. So I think as people like you folks with these programs emerge into these leadership roles and really start kind of taking the projects forward, it's heartwarming to see as a community things like this continuing to happen. Now, Laura, I know you're involved in several things in the community, but you've been integral in this mask project with the hospital. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So a week ago Saturday, just like a week and a half ago, Eric Price called and he got Pastor Krista Dede and I am involved with kind of coordinating the effort for the Tomah Health. They looked at some different patterns and shared with their staff, and then they decided on a particular pattern that they thought was best. And we got the word out. There's the Monroe County Coronavirus Kindness group that's on Facebook. Between that and then just quilters that we know, quilters had come together last year to make some quilts for the Tomah Health, for the new hospital. So we got the word out on social media. It just goes like wildfire. As of today, Pastor Krista has delivered 365 masks to Tomah Health. And they actually are putting a message on their social media that basically says, "We are good for now." Let me pull it up here. I was going to read it. It says, "Words cannot fully describe the appreciation we have from area residents who have been sewing masks for our staff at Tomah Health. From the entire organization, and most importantly from our frontline staff, thank you for your donations of time and material. We are also grateful for the words of encouragement during these challenging days. For now, we have an adequate supply of masks for staff at Tomah Health. However, the sewing crusade continues. Masks are still being made and dropped off at the First United Methodist Church at 1105 Butts Avenue for emergency medical services, staff in the area, as well as other medical facilities. We are in it together." And really, this community is just amazing. You talk about we're going to put the masks when they come in, and Pastor Krista went to All American and they put together these two wagons with bins on them, and it's properly signed. One sign says supplies, if you have donated supplies. And some of the people that donated, Walmart donated a bunch of fabric and elastic that they had and things like that. All American helped, as I said. The Quilted Rooster, the quilt shop down on the south end of town on Clifton, Barb has made elastic available to anyone making masks at no cost. The library, Mr. Dave called. They found a bunch of pipe cleaners and he donated and they brought the order. So, it's just really cool how everyone's chipped in. So there's a bin for completed masks, and just anyone who's making masks can take them down there, and if we'll get them distributed to local businesses. I know like Moulter said their staff would use them, so we'll take care of getting that done. That being said, just another quick shout out to Barb at the Quilted Rooster. She is a regional coordinator, I'm not sure the exact title, for called Mask Warriors. And she's in charge of 8 counties, and they're looking for masks for that whole area, as well as they're looking for people who are willing to drive masks to different facilities. So go to the Quilted Rooster Facebook page. She's got some information there if you're interested in going above and beyond the Tomah community. Maybe you know someone that lives in La Crosse or one of those other counties that she's representing and want to help that way.
Laura, can you touch on, there is a specific pattern you guys are using, correct?
There is. It's called the Easy Pouch Facebook mask, and it's on the Tomah Health Facebook page. They have an article that you can find it. If anybody wants it, they can text or email me, and I'll be happy to share it with them.
Okay. Since with this broadcast would kind of get split up a little bit, my thought process is there's probably some people that are watching this that didn't watch the earlier version.
Yeah, right.
Got cut off. Do we want to touch again on a little bit of the history of Community Table and then just the schedule and process going forward?
Sure, I think that's a good idea. So like I said, the Tomah Community Table began serving a weekly free meal back in September of 2009. So we had our 10-year anniversary in September. We have over 80 different organizations. We've got a card club. We have teachers. We've had schools. We've had businesses, churches, obviously. The Lions Club, the Lioness, have all stepped forward and have scheduled themselves to provide the meal and the volunteers to serve the meals. We made the decision in mid-March that we should probably close because of the coronavirus. And then we usually follow the schools, what they do anyway, so it kind of dovetailed into that. And then Neil and the Ministerial Association came forward with the idea of a mobile community table, and that's being held on Mondays down at Gloria Day. Want to add anything, Neil?
Yeah, and essentially, I don't know if I said this in the first one either, but we're going to be serving on Mondays from 4:30 to 5:30 or until the meals run out. If people kind of come down south on Hollister off of 16, just south of Gloria Day Church, there's a parking lot you can enter into. We'll have signage up. We'll have people directing you, but we'll find out the number of meals you need. And then we've got people who are ready to set those meals on a cart so you can kind of step out of your car and pick those up. We're trying to do everything we can to honor social distancing and to keep everybody safe. And we just want to be there for people who are, definitely struggling right now. And as people get further and further away from work, it'll be harder and harder to provide. We want to remind people we care. And reach out to them that way. So you guys had some other thoughts or questions?
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. If people would like to donate money to help cover the cost of these meals, Neil's worked with these folks and they're at a reduced cost for the meal, but it's still, when you're looking at 200 meals, it's a daunting, you're looking at $1,000 for a Monday night. So if there are any businesses or organizations who'd like to make a donation, the Ministerial Association actually keeps the funding that is the Tomah Community Tables that has come in from donations, and we would accept any cash donations. Just send a check to the Bible E-Free Church and make it out to Tomah Community Table, and then put at the bottom that it's for the mobile MTCT, Mobile Tomah Community Table. And Neil, I don't remember your address off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's 625 West Veterans here in Tomah.
Wonderful. I did hear back from Tomah Lions Club. They are wanting to purchase some walkie-talkies to help with the social distancing. And so those would be available for you guys to use as soon as they come. I understand they did priority shipping, so hopefully we'll get them by Monday.
Thank you.
When I know more, I'll tell you more at this point.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
absolutely. Anything else you guys want to touch on here before we end the broadcast?
Back to the masks, not to jump, but there are still supplies in the supply bin down at the Methodist Church. So if people just want to keep on sewing, there are still supplies there, and we'll just keep taking them as long as people keep sewing. Yeah,
I appreciate that. It's truly a beautiful thing to kind of watch come together. Thank you for leading that charge. Thank you both for being creative and trying to help out the restaurants and the public as well with all of these initiatives. It's folks like you that make Tomah shine in moments like these. So thank you.
Do you want to mention the thing that Jeff Holthouse is doing with the restaurants? It kind of is a nice dovetail too. I just saw that today.
Yes. So if you go to the Corona Kindness, the Monroe County Area Corona Kindness page, as well as the Tomah Chamber Facebook page, there's a wonderful video there from Jeff Holthouse as far as what he's doing. Jeremy Hahn from Edward Jones kind of was the first one out of the gate with, okay, something needs to be done and I'm going to do it. And he bought $1,000 worth of Tomah bucks and it said, no questions asked, just come to my business and you can have one. I believe they were valued at $20 a piece. So I wrote an article on it for our monthly newsletter here, but I think what we're really seeing is some of the best of humanity coming out. It makes our community special. So thank you for your work in that.
You bet.
To everyone else, go ahead, Neil.
Oh yeah, and I was just going to say that, I mean, for us as local churches, our methods have certainly changed, but our missions remain the same. And just to remind people that there is hope. And as you're struggling and afraid, feel free to contact, I mean, any local church, and they're going to want to pray with you and just remind you that they care about you. And there's a hope in the midst of this, because this is different. And I know it's unsettling at different times for a lot of people. So don't forget that you're cared for and there's hope, even as you're walking through these really different times.
Yeah, that's a wonderful message. Thank you. I think we're all just feeling completely uncertain. There's no roadmap, there's no directions, and obviously none of us can predict what's going to happen next. It seems to change by the minute. So
yes.
Thank you for that message.
Oh, and if I could, on that vein, the Tomah Community Table, their Facebook page is where we're putting out regular information. And with that in mind, if there came to a point where this had to change, differences with weather, or even if the city said, hey, we need to even step back further, check that out, because there will always be up-to-date information on the mobile community table there.
Okay.
Yep. Tomah Community Table. Tomah Community Table.
Thank you. Thank you. That was probably one of those fundamental things I should have brought up right out of the gate and didn't even do it.
I could have mentioned it too. It's fine.
All right. To everyone else out there watching, follow those pages on Facebook. You can certainly follow our page as well as what we're doing. We're just going to continue to try and provide information as resources and things kind of filter through to us. So thank you for watching.
Thanks, Tina. Thanks, Neil.
Thank you, Tina. Thanks, Laura.
Bye-bye.